Boy.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioners. This morning, we will be proceeding with the witnesses covering the 6 December events of the takedown. You will recall that in the last sitting, we dealt with members of the Hawks that came from the Toms division. And today,
Yes.
we will be dealing with 3 members from the Hawks, but the division's Serious Organized Crime Investigation Unit.
Do we still want to hear anything about what all these officers want to say? Isn't the only person we should hear from really General Libya now? Have we not heard enough from all the other officers?
Chair, the testimony before the commission was that there were 2 units of the Hawks that came to the scene. The series of witnesses that we previously dealt with only came from the 1 unit.
Yes.
And you will recall that there was difficulty identifying the other unit and finding those members, as well as identifying where the instruction to send those members to the scene came from. So these witnesses will deal with that
It's
instruction.
basically to clarify who was who.
Who was who and who sent them
All right.
from their division to the scene.
All right. But as I say, I hope at some stage we will hear from General Libya, because I think that's where all of this comes from.
Chair, not to preempt the witnesses' testimony, but once they are done, then
Yes.
all fingers will point in one direction, and then we will conclude the section with that individual.
Thank you, Ms. Bowe.
Chair, the first witness in this series of witnesses is Captain Norki, and he's ready to take the oath.
Thank you. Good morning, Captain. Please, your mic. I think even this very important but brief issue should be on record. Good morning, Captain.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Thank you. Please place your full names on record.
Dale Christian Norkia.
Thank you. Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, Captain.
Chair, Commissioners, the statement of Captain Norkia is under tab 7 of the files in front of you. And Captain, can I confirm that you have a file in front of you with 3 tabs marked 7, 8, and 9, and your statement being under tab 7?
That's correct, Commissioners.
And Captain, in your statement, or in the file before you, there is an unsigned statement that we made corrections to. Can you confirm that this is the statement that's in your file?
That's correct, Commissioners.
And can you confirm that this is the statement you prepared for purposes of giving testimony before this commission?
That's correct, Commissioners.
Thank you. Captain, can you go to paragraph 2 of your statement where you deal with your background? Can you briefly summarize your background for the commissioners?
That's correct, Commissioners. I started my career in the police in 1987, underwent my training at Bishop Laver's College in Cape Town. Upon that same year, in December, I was attached to Crime Intelligence Soweto as a constable. Between 1995 to 2002, I was stationed at the then Syndicate Fraud Unit, Johannesburg. Should I proceed?
And yes, please. And more recently, or after 2002, where were you stationed?
From 2002 until 2007, I was stationed at the Sun-Up at OR Tambo Airport. From 2007, I was attached to the Serious Organized Crime Investigation Unit at DPCI.
And this is the current division you're attached to?
I'm currently at the Joburg office.
Thank you, Captain. Can we then go to the events of the 6th of December? You described getting a call from your commander, Colonel Matlole. Can you explain what happened?
Yes, on the 6th of December, which was on a Friday at around about 16:24, I received a call on my cell phone from Lieutenant Colonel Matlole from our office, whereby we had to attend to follow-up information in regard to people impersonating themselves as Hawks members.
And once she had given you that information, what other information was provided to you regarding this?
The address was given to us, which was number 137 Empire.
Oh, that's not necessary, Captain. We don't need to disclose the address. And did she explain where this information came from?
Yeah, she explained to me that the information comes from Colonel Serfontein, our commander.
Thank you, Captain. And once you then had the address at your disposal, what did you then do with your team members?
I informed my team members who were with me at that stage around the Bruma area, and we immediately proceeded to the address to go and verify the information that was given to us.
And Captain, is there a reason that for this exercise to verify whether there were people at that Hawks members impersonating themselves there, that you would send yourself and 4 other team members? Is there a reason for this?
Yeah, the reason was basically just to go and verify the information.
And for a verification exercise, was it necessary to send 5 individuals?
That's correct, because we were a team there, and it would be more sufficient to have so many members there.
And you then proceeded. How many vehicles did you use to go to the address?
We proceeded to the address with 2 vehicles, a Golf and a BMW, white in color.
And when you then arrived at the address, what transpired?
Upon
Captain, your mic, if you can just keep them on. Yes, thank you.
we immediately noticed that it was a police operation in progress.
You first mentioned the time of your arrival. Please repeat that.
Yes, Commissioners. We arrived there around about 5:15, And upon disembarking from the cars, we could notice that there was like a police operation in progress. Pardon? In progress, could notice that a whole lot of members around the vicinity of the crime scene. Police members clad in balaclavas and with rifles and sidearms.
And what else did you observe in paragraph 6.1? You talk about the members of law enforcement that you saw. At paragraph 6.2, you note some of the vehicles.
Yeah,
What were your
yeah,
observations?
some of the vehicles they didn't have registration. Some were unmarked as well.
And you say that this suggested that there was an operation underway.
Yeah, that's correct, Commissioners.
And then you also note that they were communicating, the officers, with radios.
Yes, yeah, some were communicating with the radios.
At
Sir,
my apologies.
Captain, you also mentioned that they were somewhere in bulletproof vests, and you also saw uniformed officers.
That's correct, Commissioners.
So at that point, from your observation, you saw that it was a SAPS operation.
Yes, on what I observed, like also approaching the whole setup where the operation was, I mean, like with the way they conducted themselves, and through my experience witnessing police operations, I could notice that it was a police operation in progress, and there wasn't, like, if it wasn't a police operation, there was going to be like a confrontation.
Okay.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Balo. You say that it was then immediately apparent that it was a police operation.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Captain, at this point, with your experience in seeing that it was a legit operation, why did you feel it was still necessary to continue with the verification exercise?
Why I felt that it was necessary to verify whether it was a police operation, just to get a reference, reporting back to my superiors.
Captain, you then say you proceeded and the first person you interacted with was a Captain Kruger. Can you tell the commissioners about that interaction?
Yes, my first interaction at the address close to the crime scene, I interacted with Captain Kruger. I introduced myself as Captain Norkia from Joburg office, and whereby he introduced himself as Captain Kruger from the DPCI Tom's office. And he informed me that, he also confirmed that it was a police operation from a national task team in progress.
Captain, at this point, you are now interacting with your counterpart from the Tom's division. Why was it not enough? You've seen that it was a police operation. Now you've talked to Captain Kruger, who confirms it's a police operation. Was that not enough for your purposes?
The reason why I had to interact with someone else that's involved with the scene is to get the reference to report back to my superiors.
So once you talk to Captain Kruger, you then say the next person you met was Captain Wanda.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Can you explain what happens then with the interaction with Captain Wanda?
Yeah, upon meeting with Captain Wanda, he came there, whereby I was standing with Captain Kruger, and he informed me that they were engaged with an operation whereby they executed a J50 warrant, an arrest warrant, as well as a J51 search and seizure warrants, whereby I asked him for a case number and or an inquiry number, and he didn't divulge that to us.
And you then say that when you asked him for these reference number, or alternatively a case number, he responded by saying, tell your general to speak to General Khumalo.
That's correct, Commissioners.
You then say after this interaction with Captain Wanda, where you now don't get the reference or case number, you then establish contact with Colonel Matlole.
And then, yeah, that's correct, Commissioners. I established contact with Colonel Matlole, whereby I informed her about what transpired, and whereby she also informed us that we should withdraw, and I informed the members that we should withdraw and that it was a legit police operation in progress.
And Captain, how much time did you spend at the scene?
At the scene, we didn't spend more than 15 minutes upon leaving the scene.
And then once Lieutenant Colonel Matlole said you can withdraw, what did you advise your team members?
I advised the members that we should withdraw, and we immediately left the premises, and whereby I reported back to her via like an SMS as to a short description or as to what happened.
And Captain, in your interaction with other members, did they note anything that they would have seen when they were attending the scene?
Yeah, the other members were a bit far from the crime scene. They were basically towards the end, and when I walked into closer to the crime scene, I walked in with Warrant Officer Khadebe, where you were also engaged with some members of the task team.
Thank you, Captain. And is there anything else you want to tell the Commission about your involvement or presence at the scene?
Nothing. That's all that I can say.
Thank you, Captain.
Captain, was this the first time, or do you have other experience where you've been instructed by your superiors to go and attend to a scene because of supposed information that someone is pretending to be a police officer? Is this something common and that you have experienced?
No, this was basically the first time, Commissioners.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, Captain.
Morning, Commissioners.
How are you?
Well and self?
I'm good. I have 3 points, and the first 2, I think you're just going to confirm what should be general knowledge. The address where you are based in Diagonal Street, from there to this address at Sandhurst, it's about 11, 12 kilometers, right?
I think it could be more than that, Commissioners.
Yeah. I've checked, I think it's 12 kilometers. And the point I want to make is really that if the team from the Diagonal Street office could go to Sandhurst to verify that this is a legitimate police operation, there was no need to bring people from Pretoria North and people from Molefe City to come and verify the same thing, because the team from Diagonal Street could clearly do that. And based on what you are telling us, you did in fact go there and verify that this is a police operation.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Yeah. So I'm worried about what the Pretoria people and the Molefe City people were doing at this address in Sandhurst. The other thing is, in your statement, you say immediately when you got there, it's paragraph 7, you could see that this is an official SAPS operation. So you saw that immediately when you got there. Now, what entitled you to a reference number and a case number in relation to the J51? Once you know that these are the police and you can see that your Tom's colleagues are there, you fulfilled your mission, because your mission was to go there and check if there are people impersonating the Hawks. Once you got there and you see that they are legitimate Tom's people, they are legitimate SAPS people, that's what you were sent there to do. And that's all you needed to report back on. I don't understand why you needed the J51 reference number or the case number for the operation, because that borders on interference.
Yes, Commissioners. Can I just explain why I needed the reference number? The reason why I needed the reference number is to report back to my superiors as to, like, normally what happens, I have to report back using a reference as to, we engaged with the investigators there, and they were engaged with this operation using this case number or this inquiry number. It was for our own reference as well.
But you are interrupting what they are doing, because if you are saying they must now stop and attend to you and give you details of the operation, you are interrupting what they are doing. That's my problem.
Commissioners, we were not interrupting with them because they came to us. We didn't ask for them. They came right there to us and informed to say that they are engaged with executing a J50 and a J51, and whereby I asked just for a reference, whereby I can report back to my superiors as to say, we went there to go to verify this, and members were, and whereby I just report back to say members were busy with this regarding to this case.
I don't think you needed a reference number for that, and you could still report despite the fact that you were not given a reference number.
But it's a reference that would be needed from our office.
Did you get it eventually, the
I
reference?
didn't get the reference number because Captain Wanda informed us to say that he wouldn't divulge any much more in regard to the case. It's just what they were busy with, executing the J50 and J51 warrants.
So my point is you could still report to your superiors without the reference number, because that was not necessary.
I could, that's why I reported it without the reference number with the commissioners.
Thank you.
Captain, what did Colonel Matlolo say to you when he gave you the instruction?
That we should proceed to the address and to go and verify whether, because there's information that there's members, to verify whether it's that there are members impersonating themselves as Hawks members.
And you say upon receiving that instruction, you immediately said to your team that you were with, let's proceed to that address.
Yeah, I spoke to the team and then we proceeded to the address.
And when you got there, you parked your vehicles and you proceeded, you in particular, with Warrant of Sakadebe, you proceeded to the gate.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Was there any discussion amongst your team, you and your team, what you're going to do when you get there?
Yeah, upon receiving the information, I informed them the discussion was about to go and verify whether there were genuine Hawks people there.
Yes. You didn't know what you were going to find there. You were just told there are people that are impersonating.
That's correct, Commissioners.
The Hawks. And
That's
you
correct,
just
Commissioners.
proceeded, parked your vehicles and proceeded to the gate.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Without any plan of what we do if we find indeed these are impersonators.
No, the plan was there. We were going to act if we saw that it was an illegitimate operation.
What was the plan? And at which point did you discuss the plan? I'm putting this to you, I'm asking you this because you are going into a scene that you're telling us you knew nothing about, except that there are people who are impersonating the hawks. So this is a scene you know nothing about.
That's correct,
At
Commissioner.
which point do you discuss a plan about how you're going to approach this, which you don't know anything about?
Hence that we were not going to rush into the scene as to just blindfoldly. We were going to approach the scene systematically if it was not a genuine scene, and from there we were going to call for more backup.
At which point did you or would you discuss a systematic approach? I ask as a layperson. I imagine you walking into a scene that potentially has got criminals who are armed.
That's correct,
potentially,
Commissioner.
and I'm assuming you know nothing about that scene, unless you know what's going on there from your discussion with Captain Matlole, with Colonel Matlole. Unless you know what's going on, I'm assuming you go there knowing nothing about that scene and you potentially expect there are criminals. At which point do you discuss your approach to that scene?
Hence, as it is approaching scenes like this, whereby there could be a potential confrontation and such, we always have members that are on standby to come immediately, more force towards the scene.
And you would have, summoned them once you meet resistance?
That's correct,
So
Commissioner.
effectively,